New Gods, Yang Jian movie plot you should know. Once upon a time, a great calamity occurred in the heavens and the earth. The world was in ruin, strife and killing. The final battle of Shangzhou, humans and gods together overcome the problem. Established the seal of the gods. Since then the gods have been reunited. Each created a cave. The world returned to peace. After many years later, a ship that was sailing above the clouds suddenly died. A large man named Ming Hao brought fuel and filled the plane's tanks with the remaining fuel they had. The plane is back in operation. Sail across the clouds. The bad news is, the last half barrel of their mixed energy, if it runs out then they can no longer sail. Once upon a time everyone could fly in the clouds, but after that cataclysm, only the ones with wings could fly. New fairies and monsters can fly by using the ship. Ming Hao sat beside Erlang and complained that it had been a long time since they had been unemployed. It was time for them to get jobs to buy gas. Their ship has members of Gaudi, a dog who is also a fairy. He can change shape to look like a human but act like a puppy. Then there was Yao Tua, Erlang, and Ming Hao. That day there was a new notice board issued by the Penglai Divine Palace. That there will be a reward of 20 guan for the person who catches the man on the notice board. Erlang finally agreed to take the job. They arrived at the Divine Realm, Penglai Island, a busy, bustling and extremely crowded divine island. Erlang headed to a place, stood, waiting at the end of the alley while playing the harmonica. The fugitive that Erlang was waiting for finally came, a fairy and his bodyguard a monster. Pretty good combination. Not waiting long, Erlang was attacked by monsters, but none of those attacks made Erlang hurt. But on the contrary, with just one blow to the head then the monster fell helpless. The fugitive fled. Erlang chased him. Even though he thought he would escape from Erlang, in fact Erlang was superior. Waiting at the end of the alley, a chase ensues between Erlang and the fugitives. Erlang nearly loses his bounty when he runs out of gas. But luckily Ming Hao arrived on time, finished the rest of the job, until they caught the fugitive and took him to the prison to get 20 guan. After the task of chasing fugitives was completed, Erlang again received a job offer. That day a beautiful woman came to visit, asking Erlang to catch someone who had stolen her sister's treasure, an object that could contain everything that no other object in this world could contain. That person fled to Fanghu Divine Island. His name is Cen Xiang. The woman then said goodbye and would wait to hear from Erlang when he found Cen Xiang. Meanwhile at a gas filling station, activities were running as usual, filled with bustle and people wanting to fill up gas. But it didn't last long. A god and some monsters arrived there and made a mess. Some guards tried to intervene. A fight ensues. Someone managed to infiltrate below and managed to kill the guardian monsters that were there. All the fuel at the station is then taken in a small container but can hold so much gas. Soon the Sky Warriors came. Monster quickly ran away with all the gold coins. Left a mess there. Erlang started his task to find and capture a person named Cen Xiang. With a portal, they will depart for the Divine Realm, Fangyi Xian Island, or Casino Island. Erlang arrives at a casino. There he meets a waiter named Gao Tua, a waiter who has sharp ears and hearing. Gao Tua allows him to know a lot of information. Erlang asked to find someone named Cen Xiang. Gao Tua pointed in one direction of a room where several people's shadows could be seen. Gao Tua then quickly fled from Erlang. Erlang was about to chase Gao Tua when suddenly a huge gorilla grabbed Erlang's shoulder. Turns out there were 3 of them, 2 gorillas, and a monkey. The monkey continued to laugh mockingly and opened the god's eyes on Erlang's forehead, who was now blind. The monkey kept on babbling, telling the people there that Erlang was actually a young Jian, a very famous god who had fallen into a slump and was a silver bounty hunter. The monkey tells the story of telling people in a loud voice that 12 years ago, Yang Jian, because of 3 saints, Yang Chan, eloped with a human, broke the rules of heaven, and ended up being put under the Washan, that is Erlang's sister. Yang Chan resisted before being put into the mountain using a precious Bao Lian lantern from Washan. The incident injured the eyes of the sky, and Erlang lost his magic power. And since that incident, Erlang's younger sister's spirit has never been able to come out. Erlang had placed his sister under Washan to divide the family, and they are torn apart. The monkey wanted to give Erlang a punch, but in the end the 2 gorillas that were with him were thrown and fell. The monkey was surprised and afraid that Erlang was still very strong. The monkeys choose to run away when the demon brothers are seen coming to the place. They are Moli Hong and Moli Hai. The Moli brothers approached Erlang and asked not to look for Cen Xiang. Since the 2 of them were also hunting for Cen Xiang, it was best for Erlang not to interfere. But Erlang casually chose to leave the Moli brothers. Erlang was walking on a small road beside a river, when a young boy ran and bumped into Erlang. The young boy was chased by some monsters. They seemed to be having a disagreement. Erlang passed them unceremoniously, not interested in this group of people. Suddenly the young man who bumped into Erlang gave something to Erlang, asking him to keep it for a while. Erlang was surprised. Now he's trying to avoid the attacks of several monsters. Even though he wanted to explain that Erlang had nothing to do with their fight, Erlang had to beat up some monsters that were trying to hurt him. Erlang was even surprised by the young man's actions that easily killed his opponent. The young man thanked Erlang for helping him. But strangely, even though Erlang had told him that he was Meishan Yang Jian, the young man did not recognize Erlang. Increasingly suspicious, Erlang mentioned Cen Xiang's name, and the young man was startled. How did Erlang know his name? Just a few moments off guard, Cen Xiang quickly ran away from Erlang. The demon brothers who were also hunting Cen Xiang told Erlang that actually Cen Xiang was from the same sect as the Erlang. Cen Xiang is Erlang's subordinate. Erlang's master knows who the young man is.